let's talk about the newest palette from Glaminatrix Cosmetics, and that is the Pretty in Pastels palette. Look at this packaging. It's so beautiful. I love the holo. Just in time for spring, as it is coming up very, very soon in the US. And thank you so much to Glaminatrix Cosmetics for sending these products over to me. Glaminatrix Cosmetics is an Australian-based indie brand, so their seasons are different times. And the inside color story, it is obviously pastel, but we have that depth on the bottom row, which I was so happy to see. I think there's a lot of beautiful all pastel palettes out there, but I do prefer to always have some sort of deepening up shades, 2 rows of shimmers at the top. And I mean, they are so smooth, so shiny, really beautiful, dimensional. I don't believe that any of them are multi-chromes, but they do have quite a bit of dimensionality to them, so they do have kind of like different sparkles throughout them. And these are their new smaller pans, so think of the Sugar and Spice palette, and this palette will retail for $43 USD, which I'm so happy to see, an under $50 eyeshadow palette. Now, of course, if you are US based, the shipping is going to be a little bit more costly, so something to consider. They're also going to be launching at the same time. It is not like a full collection. They're also going to be launching these lip and cheek flushes. I will be showing you blended out swatches of all of these, so you can use them on the lips or you can use them on the cheek, or you can use them both. I'm currently wearing Sunny on the cheeks, and I actually have Idealist from the eyeshadow palette as my highlighter, and I think they pair really, really nicely together. And then on the lips, I have Gentle, and honestly, this has been my go-to. I've been using this non-stop, especially on the lips. These are all very pigmented, so the way I like to apply them is I put a little bit on the back of my hand, and then I go in with a brush and just swirl it around, make sure to evenly coat the brush, and then just tap it on. And it just looks so beautiful on the cheeks. These do dry down. At least when I have used them on the lips and on the cheeks, I don't notice them staying sticky, which I also really love that, because I don't always, like, sometimes I'm okay with having a little bit of a sticky cheek. Like, I have plenty of cream products that just don't set, and I'm cool with that, or just set my face, but I do prefer when it's set. So these are so far so great. So I just kind of give you my review on those at the beginning of the video. So let's get into the 2 looks with the palette, and I'll give you some of my thoughts at the end of the video. I am priming with the P. Louise paint, and this is the white shade. Picking up a Visionary, and I'm just gonna tap that on to the first inner third of my lid. And I have used this, I already filmed a reel, and I did notice Mystify and Visionary are very pastel, and they take a little bit of building up. Really just need to kind of tap them on. So I'm just gonna add on just a little bit more here. And then next to that, Entrance. I literally read it as Entrance. I'm pretty sure that it's not meant to say entrance. Not really sure what it would have to do with Pretty in Pastels. Taking Infatuation. Oh my. I feel like the green and the blue are definitely more pigmented than the yellow so far from what I've tried. And I'm just blending the edges of that out. This is the T63 brush from Makeup Shack. I'm just going to take a clean, fluffy brush and go over the edges of everything. And then using the same brush, I'm picking up Restful. I'm just going to pop that out here to the outer corner. Super pigmented. That is one thing I really noticed with these when I was swatching them. They are very pigmented, which is awesome. I love to see it. I'm wiping off the brush, and I'm just going to go in with the tiniest bit of Infatuation, just a little bit on here on the edges. For the shimmer primer, I'm going to use the Bella Beaute bar, pretty much all over the lid. I'm just going to tap on it. Up Soothing, and I'm just going to pop that right out here to go into the outer V. And then taking Soulful, and that's going to go onto the center. And then taking Magical onto the innermost part of my lid, and then a little bit as the inner corner highlight as well. And here's the first finished look. Moving on to the second look, I prime with the Glamlight primer and the shade Classic Vanilla, and I'm wearing Idealist as a highlighter, kind of like peach flecks and yellow flecks throughout it. It's so pretty. Picking up Luminous, and I'm gonna put that onto the outer corner and just blend it down across my lash line a little bit. And then underneath my lower lash line, kind of creating a V. Look at that pigmentation. And then just taking a little bit more. And then taking Imaginary to the rest of my crease. Super pigmented as well. And these have been blending so nicely, not just together, but like on their own. So I think I'm actually going to take a little bit of it underneath too, to kind of merge things together between the top and the bottom. Just really blowing it out. Going in with the Bella Beaute Bar Shimmer Stay and just tapping it out. Ambient. And that's just going to go out here. And then Idealist. Right above that. Just a little bit more. These are super, super smooth, as you can see. Absolutely no skin texture accentuation with these for sure. And I'm going to take Ethereal. Just going to pop that on the inner corner. This is such a beautiful iridescent shade. I think this would also be a really fun highlighter. Here's the second finished look. So as I said in the beginning of the video, I think these are a hit. Like if you're planning on making a purchase from Glaminatrix Cosmetics, I would highly recommend throwing one of these in the cart. There are only two shades I haven't used, which is Lavish and Poppy, and I'm really, really excited to use these. Love Gentle. Gentle is kind of like my ideal blush slash lip color. I mean, look at that. I just think it's such a beautiful neutral. It does dry down and it's very comfortable. I do like to kind of put it on my finger from the doe foot applicator and then just kind of smudge it on my lips, and that way it really just like blends into my lip. Feel like I've raved about these enough, but I love them. Okay, so let's talk about the eyeshadow palette. I have done 3 looks total with this palette, and I have used pretty much almost all the shades. I think the only shade I haven't used is Tranquil, I believe, and Labyrinth, but I have used the rest of the mattes, and then I haven't used a couple of the shimmers. I think the deeper mattes in here are such a great addition. I think this is what sets it apart from being just another all pastel palette. So the bottom row gives you lots and lots of pigment and depth, and then the center row also lots of pigment, a little bit less depth, and then in the center row, Entrance and Divine are very pigmented, but Visionary and Mystify do take a little bit of more of a building up. They are on the thinner side. As for the shimmers, these are so sparkly, really beautiful, really smooth, and I think most of them can be quite sheared out. If you wanted to go for a more ethereal kind of look and kind of like a one and done look, you could for sure do that. Obviously, with the exception of Soothing, that one does have a little bit of a almost like grayish black base without being a black multichrome. It does still have quite a bit of that shine. It is a little bit on the shifty side as well. I don't foresee having any issues with creasing with these kinds of shimmers because they are so kind of like PC and a little bit drier, and I will probably be using them with a tacky primer as that helps with the opaqueness a little bit. So if you want these to be a sheer wash, then don't use a tacky primer. Just how they glisten, how they shine, they are so vibrant and so smooth. Like I said, you will not experience any sort of skin texture accentuation, which I love me some smooth, beautiful shimmer shadows. So overall, I think this is such a fun launch for Glaminatrix Cosmetics. I love to see them expanding into some liquid lip and cheek blush, and also the very colorful addition to their eyeshadow palette. So let me know in the comments below if you plan on picking any of these products up during launch, which is March 3rd on Sunday. I will put up all the details in the description box. And if you enjoyed the video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. Thank you so much for watching. I hope to see you next time.